of row 2.
Row 3, Ollie Jackson and Adam Morgan ahead of Dan Lloyd and Tom Oliphant, with Jake Hill, the championship leader, 9th, and Chris Smiley rounding out the top 10. 11th, Ash Sutton with Jack Goff starting 12th. 13th is Dan Rowbottom with Aidan Moffat next, ahead of Gordon Shedden. Josh Cook 16th on the grid. Then it's Jason Plato and Senna Proctor ahead of Sam Osborne and Carl Bordley. Tom Chilton starts 21st, Aaron Taylor-Smith alongside him, ahead of Jessica Hawkins and Rick Parfitt. Jade Edwards 25th, ahead of Jack Newtell. Then it's Clint Geddy, Nicholas Hamilton, and a tyre-affected Sam Smelt at the back of the grid. Green flag waves then, cars released. Sam Smelt, one of the drivers that was in strife with tyres in the first race. It wasn't for everybody, but a number of drivers seem to have occasional tyre dramas, but they'll have worked with the teams to combat that and gain some more advantage. Now the weight that is carried going into race 2, remember, is as you cross the line. So race winner Colin Turkington comps for the whole 75 kilos. Chris Smiley 10th gets only 9. And as Tim Harvey said earlier on in the day, of course, this is a place where the weight does have an effect. It's going to be intriguing to see not only how the weight now affects things, but also that soft tyre. Ollie Jackson, 39 kilos of weight, soft tyre. Soft tyres too for Jake Hill, who started the day on 75. He's now only got 15 in the car, and Chris Smiley on 9 kilos. So you can anticipate another jumbled race as the cars get away. And a rather recalcitrant Jessica Hawkins there. Now that Ford looked a little bit slow. We'll double check that all is well there, but that car looking a little bit slow. Now, a man who did great things in the first race, 6th on the grid for race 2, Adam Morgan. Adam, it was a good result, but I gather that you were struggling a bit with tyres towards the end of the first race.
Yeah, it's a great result for the team. Good points in the back, but unfortunately I made a stupid mistake going from the bridge and I was smashing the block button. I'm calling it the world's biggest block button. So it was a bit of a manage to the end situation, so happy to get the car home and got the point.
What were the tyres like in that first race? You know, were they holding up all right, apart from your lock-up, or was there a point where they started to lose their edge?
Well, it's a bit of a step in the unknown for us. That was my first drive on the front tyre in a rear-wheel drive car, so it was all a bit of a let's see what happens sort of thing. But the car felt okay. Like I said, I was having to manage it quite a lot, so I wasn't pushing 100%. The car felt quick, you know, just a shame. I had to slow down a bit.
Adam, Tim here. Your engineer Steve, has he come up with any chassis tweaks, setup tweaks for this race and the change of tyres?
We have there's 4 chains to the rear of the car. Just trying to manage the conditions, Rod. You know, it's extremely hot at the minute, and we're having some understeer, so it's just trying to manage that and just try and get the best performance out of it in the smaller big corners.
Okay, mate, we'll let you get on. Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
So Adam Morgan then for 6th on the grid, and there is Jessica Hawkins, who has got going, but let's just see, no, she hasn't fallen to the very back, that's good, so she'll keep her grid position, but the car, as I say, did look a little bit reluctant to get away. She raced really well in the first race, and then as Tom Chilton, after a spin, rejoined, she had to go off in avoidance and drop down the order, so big frustration, but she has looked really impressive all weekend, good pace.
Yeah, very much so, it's great to see, and well, we've had a repeat of our first race from last year with Turkington leading home Ingram, and they did exactly the same with race 2 last year. Let's see what happens this time. Just finishing off Jessica Hawkins' point, Jade Edwards on the grid as well. The last time we had 2 female races on the same touring car grid. We've got to go back to 2001. Annie Templeton and Joanna Clark were the 2 that overlapped with part seasons that year. If you go back prior to that, 1989, when Louise Aitken Walker did the bulk of the season, and the Donington 2 driver race, Barbara Carroll shared Jeff Kimber-Smith's Toyota, but still want to have a gander up on. I'll put that away for a minute. That's Tom Ingram hard at work, making his way round onto the grid. He will line up on the outside of the front row. 66 kilos of weight on board his car. There is Jade Edwards, who will start this second race at 25th. And arguably another one to watch, and I reference it because it's from the same team, Btcc Racing, is going to be Josh Cook's car, because Tim, it was a bit of an undercooked first race for Josh, but he's shed the weight now. 66 kilos on board he now has 0. The car should be quick. Let's see what he can do with it.
Fingers crossed, because he's giving away points. So the drivers now get to the grid. Last minute instructions over the radio from engineers as they see Sam Smelt's Toyota Gazoo Racing UK Corolla making its way up to the grid. Just ahead of him is Nicholas Hamilton's Cupra, the these four very attractive Coopers built by Tony Gillam's Team Hard Stable. That's the Rocket Racing with, I quote, online trading Cupra, and that's the front of the grid. Colin Turkington then, pole position for Team BMW. Is this going to be 2 out of 2 at Snetterton? He's now got 75 kilos of weight in the car, and he's going to feel very different indeed. He's also on a different tyre this time. Tom Ingram's car alongside is a little bit lighter, and the second row of the grid lighter still, Rory Butcher, and lighter still, Stephen Jelly. So, let battle commence. The green flag is shown at the back. It is going to be round 5 in the championship. It is 12 laps, and it is go. And a good start is made by Morgan and also by Jelly. Tom Oliver gets away nicely too, as there Jason Plato goes to the inside to try to gain ground on the run down towards Riches. It is Colin Turkington who leads on the inside. Ingram challenges on the outside as Butcher goes third, Jackson fourth, Jelly fifth, Morgan sixth, and Ingram takes the fight to Turkington. He gets squeezed under the grass there. He knows he's got to strike early, and that means that Jackson comes all the way round the outside. He's gone from fourth to third to second. He gets hung out to dry a little bit on the outside. Turkington's got to defend from 2 of them now, the Ford and the Hyundai. Ingram back up into second place on the outside, then back down to third on the outside as Jackson had the shorter, quicker line, and back through into second place he goes, all of which lets Turkington get away by a length. That worked out perfectly for Jackson, but can he close the door as they come up to the hairpin? Yes, he can. Great first couple of corners for Ollie Jackson. Tom Oliver there going around the outside in the BMW to try to gain ground out of Morgan, gets a run out wide. Stephen Jelly is to his left as they make the run now up towards Hamilton into the left-hander. Then a swing right towards Oggies and then up towards Williams onto the Bentley straight and run wide there, and that's going to do your tyres a power of no good. Jake Hill loses out to Ash Sutton, who gets up the inside. Ingram is still attacking Jackson. And there are battles, as you would expect, absolutely everywhere. And Glyn Geddy and Rick Parfitt have come to grief on the infield. Glyn Geddy gets away, and Rick Parfitt's British GT champion rejoins as well. Turkington leads then, down to the S's. Jackson is second, and going well, of course, and Jackson is on that softer tyre.
Looked like Geddy might have had some right rear suspension damage, but we'll see. But yeah, Ollie Jackson revelling in that soft tyre grip initially.
And there's the replay of what kicked off, with Geddy going around, Parfitt getting involved, others like Jade Edwards, Nick Hamilton having to scatter in avoidance. Right, end of the lap, into turn 12 they come. Turkington it is who leads the way, accelerates clear of Jackson. Ingram, Butcher fourth, Jelly fifth, Morgan is next, and then a very, very good first lap from Ash Sutton has brought him into 7th place, and this is the Ash Sutton we were expecting to see in race 1.
Yeah, we really didn't see it for whatever reason in race 1. They changed the engine after qualifying, but it didn't seem to improve the chances. But obviously he is running a little bit lighter now, 48 kilos lighter than he was in race 1.
So up towards the hairpin they come. Morgan's got to go defensive. Sutton right there behind him. Jake Hill is next. Turkington ahead of Jackson. The Fords, remember, this year running as manufacturer entries. So the leading independent for the moment is Ingram in 3rd spot. Down towards turn 3 they come. And Tom Chilton has come into the pit lane at the end of the first lap, incidentally, as Sutton once more attacks Morgan. And there with damage is Chilton.
Yeah, that Sisley BMW is going to require a little bit of work on the front end, isn't it? Sutton, of course, another one that has started on the soft tyres. And look at Jake Hill. Jake Hill's car must feel absolutely fantastic now. He was on full ballast in the medium tyre race 1. Now he's relieved of that weight. He's down to just 15 kilos and has got the lovely soft tyre on.
Morgan then now having to work really hard to keep at bay. Ash Sutton and Jake Hill is right there as well. Sutton prizes open the door, gets up the inside as they go towards Williams. Through he goes, job done. So that puts Ash Sutton up into the top 6 now. Charges on, makes the run along Bentley Straight. 11th in race 1, 11th on the grid, and making good progress. And there is a time penalty for Aidan Moffat, a 10-second penalty for an out-of-position start.
It doesn't matter how many times you do this and how much tape you put on the wall, it's still very difficult to see the front end of the car. You can't see anything from the driver's seat other than the top of the dashboard, so you have to guess the length to the front of the car.
So Aidan Moffat will know where that's going to drop into post-race. Of course, what he doesn't need is a safety car, of course, to bunch them all up, but could happen. Right, to the end of lap number 2 they come. Is Colin Turkington getting away? Yep, to the eye it looks like he is, despite the weight. The BMW carries it so well over the timing line. Turkington leads, Jackson is second, and a replay here of other dramas, which will include, let's see, Josh Cook turning through, and that was one of the Halfords racing with Caterpillar Honda's forced out wide, looked like Gordon Shenton's car.
It was Shenton, that was Proctor just getting a little touch on the back that destabilised the car, and Shenton's lost places as a result. He's in 14th place. Did actually pick up a position on his start grid.
So it's still not gelling, is it, for Gordon Shenton after the problems from qualifying? There he is then, now trying to work his way back through the field, down towards Agostini he comes. So there is Turkington, the race leader. He's on the medium tyre. Jackson is 0.8 of a second back. He's on the soft, and Jackson lapped quicker last time. The first proper flying lap of the race. Jackson lapped fractionally quicker than Turkington.
Yeah, but we know that Turkington will just be building steadily in this race, controlling the situation. Nearly a second gap, but he will get quicker as the tyres fully come up to temperature.
So there is Turkington heading on to Bentley Straight, but look at Jackson behind him. In sector one, he was slightly slower, and in fact behind, slightly quicker, was Tom Ingram. And dust is kicked up. Somebody has run way out wide.
Well, that's one way to defeat the pressure sensors on track limits, just go the other side of them.
And also you put so much dust in the air, nobody can see to attack you. Now this is Ingram's view. He's third, down towards Bombhole. Turn right, through that dip in the road, up the other side. Not close enough to attack Jackson, nor is Jackson as yet getting onto terms with Turkington.
Such a difficult corner quorum here. You see a flash of brake lights, but the corner actually tightens up. So as you need to pick up the braking, you're having to turn the car at the same time. That's why you see so many lockups there.
So from turn 12 to the end of the lap they come, over the timing line. And Colin Turkington's advantage was 0.8 of a second. It is still 0.8 of a second, but he has gained